Hello everyone and welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on F1 Challenge 9902. Of course, this is a great mod. Of course, you get this on the F1 Challenge 2021 edition mod. You can get that in the Discord server for F1 Challenge, and I thought it'd be pretty fun to utilise that and do a 100% race around Abu Dhabi, because that seems to be tradition for me personally for some reason. I've always liked doing 100% races around Abu Dhabi because usually you get the day-night transition, but of course not an F1 Challenge. But it'll still be pretty fun, starting from the back of the grid with the Jaguar as Mark Webber, with the Red Bull livery for 2021 with the Max Verstappen helmet. But of course, and we've got some other liveries there that you can get in the mod, which I thought I was just apply to the 2003 grid. I'm going to have a 2003 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I have buffed up the stats for the Jaguar so I can actually start from the back of the grid and challenge for the win without having to lower the AI. So that means I can have some good racing as well. But yeah, here we go then. The Williams are decked out in some IndyCar livery. Kimi Raikkonen's got the Lando Norris livery. Justin Wilson, the Minardi, has a Lewis Hamilton livery. But here we are then. We are racing here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, starting from the back of the grid. Little cinematic shot here for you. Down the inside, I take the classic Codemasters dive bombers. I make up some positions already. That's about 5 cars I've taken just by the first corner. Our teammate there goes on the outside, extends the track limits a little bit there, but we still get back past him then. Up into P14, I do believe 15, something like that. Past the Toyota there, we're going to go down the inside of another Toyota. The two Toyotas crash there, and one of them's lost the front wing, the other's lost the rear, and that means one of them, Olivier Panis, looks like will be coming in to retire from the Grand Prix, and that means I'm up into P14, so already chaos on the first lap as teammates collide, and I've taken good advantage of that. I'm behind Jarno Trulli now in the Renault, who's in the Alpine 2021 livery, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's not even the 2021 Alpine livery, but I think it's just a concept, which looks pretty cool either way. And I'm going around the outside, brake pretty early. We've got to be cautious on this first lap. You know, AI can be quite erratic. And that's me up into P13. No, because Trulli has so much grip that he stays running outside, switch to the inside, and we're side by side now onto the second straight. And it looks like I've got him there for P13. At the end of lap 1 now, I'm behind Nick Heidfeld in the Sauber, and I'm going to go down the inside at the final corner. He's trying to battle with the Jordan in front, but to no avail, it looks like. But look at that, we get a superior exit. We're so fast in the straight there, and that's me up into P12, right behind Giancarlo Fisichella in the Jordan for P11. Not far off the points already. Of course, the top 8 score points in 03. That's what we're aiming for today. Of course, we're not aiming for just the points, we're aiming for the win as well, because I know I can do it. I'm really fast, so that'll be pretty good. Not trying to blow my own trumpet there. But around the outside of Giancarlo Fisichella into the old chicane, of course, before the modifications. And I'm going to switch the inside. We're now it goes right back to the outside then, around the hairpin. Going to try and get a good exit, so we have to check interesting line. Heifeld goes up the inside there, have another cheeky look. That's the thing, the AI they just have sudden bursts of grip out of nowhere, so they could be just come out of nowhere. But we have superior straight line advantage on the Jordan there in the description as well. We go to the outside, and that's me up into P11. It looks like by the end of this next corner, there's a flying piece of debris there. What's going on? Fisichella comes out again, and Heifeld. They both come out of nowhere. You see what I mean? The grip is just crazy for the AI. And I've dropped back down to P13 all of a sudden, so now I've got a lot more work to do. What an absolute pain in the ass, but of course we do have the pace. We've just got to stay cool. We've got 55 laps to get this done to get the win. And I've gone down the inside of Fisichella once again, up into P12 now, through the OG chicane for the modifications. Of course, I think the changes they made in 2021 were way better, but of course this is the OG Abu Dhabi layout. And I'm back down to P13 again. I just can't compete with the grip that the AI have on the corners. It's an absolute piss take. But into this final chicane out under the hotel. I go down the inside of Fisichella, but again, the grip is just crazy. I've got to leave him the space, and we're still stuck in P13. Absolute piss take. Now we've got 2 more corners to go. I'm going to go down the inside around this quite fast 4th gear penultimate corner. I take the piss with the track limits there, but I don't care. I'm up to P12. The AI also take the piss with the track limits, so I don't really care. I'm going to just do what everyone else is doing. That's me up into P12 at the end of lap 2. And now on lap 3, we're right behind Nick Heifeld there. That was pretty close there. We're going running outside. He's of course going to have the inside, so he's going to be pretty strong here. But no, we get a good exit, and we have beaten Nick Heifeld out of the hairpin. But if we get a replay here, look, he goes on the curb, and he's spun a little bit there, lost a bit of time there, so that's me up into P10. We're in the top 10 now. We're challenging Jacques Villeneuve now later on in the lap. Again, we're making good progress in this Grand Prix. We're so quick. Running outside of Nick Heifeld in the Jacques Villeneuve, rather, in the BAR. Running outside, and Kimi Raikkonen has lost well, he's lost everything. He's lost his front wing, he's lost his rear wing, and he's out with the Grand Prix there. As you can see, a massive crash there for him. It just goes on the curb, out to chicane, and he's into the wall. And that's not what we want to see. Very bad luck for him. Of course, he was challenging for the lead, but now he's out of the race, only on lap 3. And of course, if the AI lose their rear wing, it just means they're just going to retire, don't get it repaired. But here on lap 4, now we're comfortably up into the points now. We're going to overtake Heinsold Frentzen for P6, which is great stuff. We've got Ralf Schumacher now in the Williams ahead of us. Of course, in that, I think it's Penske livery from IndyCar. I do believe we go down here. I might chat him up now, so it might be a McLaren livery out of IndyCar. But we're up into P5 now. We've overtook Ralf Schumacher out of the hairpin. Now Ralf comes out of nowhere, just goes into the side of me there, and he's had a bit of a half spin there. Let's have a replay there. What is he doing? Look at that! I mean, that's just crazy. He just speeds up and just drives right into the side of me. But we're going to challenge his teammate now for P4 here on lap 6. Rounding outside into the left-right little sequence here. Of course, he has the inside line. Superior grip. The AI just have so much speed through the corners. It's like some sort of downforce glitch. I don't know how they do it. But we're in the slipstream now onto the second consecutive straight. Great place to race in here, in my opinion. And we're now going to the inside, into the OG chicane. That's me up into P4, looks like. 2 seconds behind David Coulthard. We catch him now on lap 7. We are really quick. How have we caught that much up in the first sector? I'm not complaining though. We go down the inside of Coulthard into this hairpin. And that's me up into the podium positions. Brilliant stuff. Go a bit defensive there on the second corner there, because Coulthard has so much grip that he's gone right round the outside. Let's get a replay now. I'm not quite sure how he even did that. Let's have a look here. Look at that. So much speed. He carries so much more speed than me. He goes off the track there, but I'm not a hypocrite, so we'll have to just, put up with it, and we can be right back on board here at the same position where we left off. Coulthard has got the inside now going into this left chicane, and he will take me there back for P3. He just cut the corner there. Cheeky bastard. We go back down the inside of him now into this next corner. Lovely bit of sequence of racing there. And he goes right round the outside of me, off the track there. A little bit of track limits once again. Coulthard's done it again. He's done it again, the cheating bastard. That's a bit too much now. He's just going off the track at every opportunity. And that's just crazy. So now back down to P4. No fault of my own. Coulthard has just been a bit of a cheating bastard today. He really wants his P3. We've still got like 47 laps left in this Grand Prix. I don't know what he's playing at, but anyway. We're still behind him. Down into the final corner we go, to the inside of Coulthard's. And that's me now, hopefully in P3 for good. Later on in the lap, Barrichello and Alonso fights for the Grand Prix lead. As Alonso goes right round the outside. A bit of contact there, sparks are flying. But Alonso goes round the outside to take Barrichello for the lead. And here we are then at the start of lap 13. Alonso leads Barrichello, who we are now overtaking side by side on the main straight. For P2, 12 seconds ahead of Jenson Button. So me, Barrichello and Alonso really are ahead of the competition today. We go down the inside of Barrichello, but of course he's going to have just the crazy downforce that these AI have for some reason. Maybe because the AI are on 117 or something stupid, because they're quite slow around this track. They're just so OP around the corners. But we do still have strong straight line speed, and if we outbrake Barrichello, we'll be able to take him for P2 here. And that's exactly what we've done. Although we get on the curb a little bit, they're a bit slow, and Barrichello just cuts across the chicane once again, like Coulthard does, and he's now back up into P2, cutting on to lap 14 now, right round the outside of Barrichello through the hairpin. That's what I usually do, and then we do a bit of a cutback to try and get a good exit, but to no avail, because Barrichello blocks my path. A little bit of contact there, that's not what you want to be seeing. But now hopefully we use our straight line advantage, and the slipstream now to go to the outside. We're side by side now with the Ferrari driver, with this somewhere 13 seconds ahead of Barrichello. And coming down towards this another left-right. I don't even know what number turn this is. And of course these corners don't have names. Barrichello has the inside line, and he's back up into P2. Great bit of ding-dong battling here with me and the Brazilian driver. But of course, again in the same scenario as we were just now on the other straight, in the slipstream now, superior straight line speed up into 7th gear, around the outside for some reason, don't go to the inside. But we managed to outbrake Barrichello. We've got leaving the space on the inside. It's good to see. You've got to be a clean racing driver. Barrichello there goes up on 2 wheels on the curb there. He takes the position back. Down the inside, cheeky dive bomb. Barrichello's going to extend track limits. Goes right around the outside of me to take the position back again. What is it with the AI just taking the piss with track limits? It's not even funny. I might have to try and do that myself if they're going to play dirty today. And Barrichello holds the outside, which will change to the inside through the hotel section here. And I've relegated back down to P3 again. Guys, it's a really good battle. I'm not complaining. The AI can cheat if they want, if it means we're getting good racing here. It's a bit of a challenge for me. And but the tyres are starting to go off, and after all that battling rather, if I pronounce my T's, Barrichello goes into the pits, and now I'm free to take the lead even as Alonso goes into the pits. So I feel like I wasted my time battling Barrichello if he was just going to go into the pits anyway. But we come in a lap later, a bit of a cheeky overcut there. But as you may notice, we do have quite a bit of fuel left in the car, but the tyres are starting to jog on. So we're going to have to put some new tyres on the car. Button now is in P2. Of course, he has yet to pit and he's staying out. I don't know what the strategy scenario is. I do believe some cars are on one stops. I believe Montoya, not one stops, two stops rather. Montoya's on a two stop. Most are on three stops, including myself. I will be on the free stop today. A 9.1 second stop for me then. And Alonso goes out. Montoya goes past me. Barrichello is 3 seconds behind. We will come out ahead of Rubens Barrichello. We have jumped him. So we didn't even need to overtake him on track, because we've passed him through the pit stop strategy of the Jaguar team. A cheeky bit of an overcut, only by 1 lap, but it's enough to see me ahead of Rubens Barrichello. Now on lap 17, we overtake Juan Pablo Montoya for P4, the man on the 2-stop strategy today. Coulthard, the cheating bastard, we meet again. We're side by side now on the straight once again on here on lap 18. I do exactly what I did to Montoya a lap before. Down inside, did we outbrake him? It doesn't look like Coulthard still maintains the outside, just changed the inside as he just completely cuts across the corner there. He's still there on my inside, but hopefully we use our straight line speed, yes, to get back past Coulthard. Yellow flags are out once again here on lap 18. Coulthard, just like his teammate, has crashed at the chicane. What a stupid bastard. He goes on the curb exactly the same as Kimi Räikkönen. He's lost his rear wing into the wall. He's on his roof. Formula 1 cars don't have roofs, but you know what I mean. He's on his head, and he's out of the Grand Prix. Both McLarens are out of the Grand Prix. Here on lap 19, we're fighting for the lead of the race with Alonso as Button goes off into the pits. I think he's also on a 2-stop today, and well, we must be if he's pitting on lap 20. And we're right behind Fernando Alonso then on the outside. Hopefully do a cheeky cutback to get a good exit onto the main straight, which is exactly what we do, because unlike Barrichello, we does not block our path. And we're now in the slipstream of Alonso in his concept Alpine livery, and that's me up into P1. Montoya is about 10 seconds behind. Of course, he has got one less pit stop to make, so it'll be pretty interesting to see where he'll come out at the end of all this. And at the end of lap 25, I'll come in for my penultimate stop on the day, the second of 3 pit stops that are planned. We've run low on fuel, got to get some new tyres on the car. And we were about just under 10 seconds ahead of Alonso by the time we came into the stop. So we've got some really good pace. We are definitely the fastest car on the track by a country mile. But what can you do, man? I mean, I probably could have just not buffed up the Jaguar, but also I did pit practice, and I was in qualifying, or practice rather, I was on point with the leaders, so I thought I'd leave it at that. But it does look like the AI are a bit slower than me today, but I'm not complaining if it means we could try and get the first win today at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Here on lap 26, then we've got 13 laps of fuel in the car, so we'll be making one more stop today. We come out behind Juan Pablo Montoya there, so that's not ideal. Again, we're 30 seconds ahead of Rubens Barrichello, that's crazy. And here on lap 26, exactly like we did on lap 17 on Juan Pablo Montoya, we overtake him on the straight, no challenge there, unless he deploys some crazy David Coulthard tactics and just cuts the corner or have some crazy grip, which it doesn't look like he has, so we've taken P2 here. And here on lap 27, disaster strikes us through the OG chicane. My Logitech G29 just decides to go to the right, and I'm in the wall. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. We were doing so well, and my Logitech just sticks to the left, to the right, sorry, and I can't do anything about it. And I'm in the wall. I've lost my front wing. Luckily, I've come away from that crash without suspension damage, so I can continue. It just means I'll have to make one extra stop. A 4-stop strategy is not ideal, but I can still contend for this win. I'm the fastest car. I'm not giving up yet. And on the same lap as I crash, my teammate also puts in the wall, Antonio Pizzonia. He's done exactly what the 2 McLarens have done, and he's out of the Grand Prix. Here on lap 29, the same thing happens again. My Logitech goes to the right, but this time it's big consequences. Not only have I had a massive crash on the straight there, I've also got suspension damage, and I've lost my rear wing, which means not only will it be difficult for me to get back round to the pits, we're almost at the start of the lap, so we're going to lose a lot of time. It's also going to be like a 50-second pit stop to repair the damages, and I've spun again, I'm into the wall, and I've done even more damage to the car, and this is just a disaster. I'm really sorry, I don't know what happened to my G29. It luckily didn't happen any more times throughout the race, but I don't know, it just like sees to the right, and it's too late for me to do. By the time I've got control of the wheel, it's too late. And now look, I'm gonna have to try and be careful, coast my way back to the pits, because I don't want to crash. Of course, it's really hard to control the car with no rear wing and suspension damage. We're not making any more pit stops. The AI are making one more pit stop. We've got a net 30 seconds to make up with 25 laps to go. Let's get it into top gear and gain this time. So on lap 45, we've got 10 laps to go. I've caught up to the AI who are all pretty close together. Ralph Schumacher there has a bit of a spin there. We get a replay now. He just got stuck on the curb and it launches him into a spin and he's going to lose quite a lot of time. And then he tries to recover the car by just driving into the wall and he's lost his front wing. What an idiot. Anyway, here on lap 46 we go on the outside of the matter, but to no avail. But we are going to have superior straight line speed, and that's me. Should be up into P7 by now. So we're back up into the points. After 15 laps of track extending my life, pretty much, to be honest with you. But to be fair, the AI are a lot slower, so I didn't have to track extend that much, but it was a bit of a pain in the ass. But we can still compete. The race win is out of the window, but the podium is not. I reckon we can still get this podium. And here, we've finally overtaken the matter for P7. Frenson's ahead at about half a second ahead, so it shouldn't be long before we overtake him. Actually, we've caught quite a lot of time there in the braking zone. Bit of a going over the curbs there, a bit cheeky of me. Down inside into whatever bloody corner this is. Jensen Button has lost his rear wing. I think he went into the wall and that's not good for him. But he's holding me up, he's right in my way. And I crash into him. I've lost my front wing, the slightest bit of contact. And I've lost my front wing. And that means I have to make another bloody pit stop. My 5th of the day. It's taking the piss. I'm so close to being able to make my way back up into the podium positions. And I've lost all my progress. All the last 15 laps has now gone down the drain. And I'm now back in last place. And I've only got 8 laps to go to be able to make up the time. So now the podium is probably gone. And I've still got suspension damage to cope with. Barrichello did retire though, as I overtake Wilson as well. So I've gained 2 positions there. And I'm going to gain a 3rd one here on Giancarlo Fisichella as I go down inside and chicane. Barrichello though, he was competing quite well for P2 it looked like, but his engine gave way and he's out of the Grand Prix. Or might have been his gearbox, something like his car let him down anyway. And we're now overtaking Cristiano D'Amato once again for P6. With 5 laps to go, I'm in P6. These 2 cars are fine for position here, Verstappen and Frentzen. So that could be me up into P4 if I'm careful, if I don't lose my front wing again. Verstappen there, cheeky bit truck extending, but I can't say anything. That's what I've been doing for the last 25 laps. Down inside of Verstappen, he does brake a lot later than me. Will he be able to make the position? He can stick around the outside and cut the corner. Brilliant stuff, thank you mate. So never mind, I'm still in 6th place. But ooh, that's a good run coming out of the second to second last corner. Round the outside through the penultimate corner, and that should be me up into P5 unless Verstappen has anything to say about it into the final corner, which he does not. And now I get a good run from Frentzen here through turn 3 into turn 4 down the inside. That should be me overtaking Heinzold Frentzen for P4. And now with 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go now as we cut on to lap 53. I am not far behind Jacques Villeneuve. I was 5 seconds, but by the grace of gods, by not only being faster, by having fresher tyres, and by track extending, I've caught up to Villeneuve now, halfway through lap 53 for P3. So despite losing my front wing a few laps ago, and having crazy suspension damage and having that massive crash, I could be on for a podium here. As we're going to go to the inside of Jacques Villeneuve, into the chicane, we'll be able to outbrake him. We've got the inside line, and that should be me up into P3, into the podium positions. Jacques Villeneuve does not fight back, and we've done it. We've made it to the podium. Brilliant stuff from last to P3. But unfortunately, it's not the race win. Juan Pablo Montoya wins by about 30 seconds over Fernando Alonso, who was about a minute ahead of me. So that's not good, but it doesn't matter. We're just about to not run out of fuel, as you can see there. But we come around the final corner, and we're going to take P3, one of the hardest P3s I've ever had to win. Wow, what a race. What a race. From the back, up to the front, and then back down again, and then working our way back up, and then we go back down again, and we've worked our way back up to P3, and now we're going to do some donuts. Brilliant stuff there. Fantastic. We're coming to Park Fermadier. I don't know where Alonso and Montoya are. They've just buggered off home, I think, because I had to coast around to not run out of fuel on the cooldown lap. But brilliant stuff coming to the pits there. And there we go. There is the finishing order for today's Grand Prix. Yeah, there we go. Barrichello, of course, retired. There's a gearbox issue there. Button, Pizzoni, our teammate, they all crashed off at the chicane where they just, yeah, I think that's just a glitch with the AR on this track. But, wow. What a Grand Prix that I did enjoy that one. A bit of a pain to commentate with my sore throat, but it was really fun. I enjoyed making it. Hopefully I'll do some more races like this on other circuits, which would be pretty cool, because that was really fun. Hopefully I can actually win and not mess up. Although in my defense, my G29 did screw me over and Button was just being an absolute idiot. But anyway, that was the 2003 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on F1 Challenge. A 100% race from the back of the grid. We've worked our way up to P3 to earn a podium. That's brilliant stuff. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time for the Robert Kubica career mode at Silverstone, which will be coming out very shortly. So I'll see you there.